All right, welcome everybody to my next video. I am Larry Wiggs the second, and I'm bringing you this video. All right, um, let's get to it. I want to tell you about specifically about five different, excuse me, five different instances, moments when I encountered the numbers 1, 0, and 9. This is my book. All right. My book is about 109. It's about the moments when I encountered these numbers throughout my travels around the globe. All right. So let's get into it. These five moments. The year was 2018. Specifically, the day was May 30th, 2018. I know this because I documented this experience, this encounter with the numbers 109 via Instagram. Okay, I was in Madrid, Spain, and I had just taken my 1090th photo and uploaded it to Instagram. So I was feeling pretty cool because 109, that's an allusion to my birthday, right? That's why these numbers are so important to me. So I posted that 1090th photo, 1090, and within minutes, I walked out of my hotel room, I turned the corner, and I was making my way to the subway when I spotted a car with the license plate 1090. Perfect coincidence. Wow, I just posted my 1090th photo and I see a car with the license plate 1090. Wow, what a coincidence. All right, cool. Snapped the photo, uploaded the picture. I mentioned something about it on the comments or whatever, and then I continued on my day. A friend of mine from high school, Nicholas, remarked, wow, that's very coincidental. All right, cool. 2018, the next time I remember seeing 109, the date was August 30th, 2018. And this time I was in Africa. I was in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, the capital. Now, I was at the Addis Ababa University Museum where I was learning about Ethiopian history. All right. The poem goes, I'll read you a section here. I should have my whole poem memorized, of course. I have this part memorized, but I wanted to read it for sure. Anyhow, let's see. Where is it? Ethiopian history. And cut to the day. Here we go. Cut to the day at Addis Ababa University, learning Ethiopian history. I went to the bathroom on the second floor. Yep, you guessed it. 109 was written on the door. All right, that's it. That's what happened. So there I was at Addis Ababa University. I was viewing the artifacts and learning about Ethiopian history. I went to the bathroom and I saw 109 written on the door. Now, we're on the second floor, and the convention for buildings in America that I am accustomed to is if I'm on the first floor, all of the rooms on that floor will be numbered 100, 200, 300, etc., or at least beginning with the number 1. If you're on the second floor, 2, 200, 300, 200, 201, 202, etc. The third floor, 3s, the fourth floor, 4s, okay? So that's what I'm accustomed to. But when I saw that the number 109 had been written on the door, on the door to a room on the second floor, I wondered, well, who wrote that and what significance do these numbers hold? Because now I was really confronted with the idea that maybe these numbers hold some significance here or there in Ethiopia. You know, that was sort of like the experience I had when I was in Japan and I saw these numbers, 10 and 9. Well, for the Japanese, 109 does hold significance For instance, 109, if you read these numbers in Japanese, you you have to say, or the number 10, I believe, is to, and the number 9 is gyu. So taken together, it's togyu, togyu. And togyu sounds like Tokyo, the name of the city. So it's not uncommon to go to Tokyo and see the numbers 109, or to even go to the shopping mall, which is named Shibuya 109. Okay, so 109 in Tokyo, in Japan, it holds some sort of significance. At least that's one reference that I am aware of, that I am knowledgeable of. Okay, there may be others. But in Ethiopia, when I saw this, I said, well, what do the Ethiopians think about 109? What is the significance? To this day, I don't actually know. All right, I'm still on the journey of discovery. All right. Next is my experience in Muscat, Oman in the year of 2019. Specifically, this occurred on the date January 27th, 2019 in Oman. That was my date of arrival. All right. That was when I was hired as a language professor, English teacher in Oman. And that was the day that I arrived there, January 27th, 2019. The emotions I felt were mixed. I felt as if my life had no direction, and I felt as if I was just being, lured or dragged along. I was just being pulled in many directions, based upon money, because I was in search of money, trying to get money. I was trying to work to earn money, and I wasn't successful in America, so I searched outside of America. And the most recent job, well, excuse me, before I say that, my search for jobs led me to Korea and then Saudi Arabia. And at that time, it led me to the country of Oman, or the Sultanate of Oman. And so after being pulled to Korea to find work, and then being pulled to Saudi Arabia, and then being pulled to Oman, I just didn't feel like I had much control over my life. So I just said to myself, well, this is my life. I just have to go with the flow. I just have to accept the way things are going. And luckily, when I was in that moment, I was embarking on a new journey, on a new work contract on January 27th when I arrived. It was actually the day after I arrived. I arrived the previous night, stayed in a hotel. And on the day that I was to sign my work contract, January 27th, 2019, as I'm walking into the headquarters, or the office where I was to meet my hiring manager and sign my contract, outside of that building, I saw a car parked there with the license plate 10914. And when I saw that, you see, I took that as a sign, an omen, if you will. And I told myself, those are your numbers. You're seeing those numbers has always been a good omen for you. It always portends something good. And this is something good that's happening. You're working, you're starting a new job. And so I said, relax. I'm in God's hands. This is God's plan. Just chill out and ride this out. And that's what I did. So I saw those numbers that day, and it helped me calm down. It helped me relax and just, put all my worries aside. That was in Muscat. Typically, when I see 109, I make a mental note. I take a photo for posterity and as a reference. Okay, but at this point, I just noted it, and I went right into the business, and I just let it go. All right. The next time I saw 109 was about April 1st, 2019. Now, I was in Oman at the time, and Oman is 11 hours ahead of Los Angeles time. I'm in Los Angeles right now, filming this. I was ahead, 11 hours ahead. So in Los Angeles on March 31st, an event occurred that I learned of, had occurred while I was in Oman about 5.5 hours after it occurred. That morning on April 1st, what was April 1st in Oman was still March 31st in Los Angeles. I awoke, I checked my Instagram feed, and I learned of that event. All right. That event had a very strong impact on me. All right. And I was a wreck. Emotionally, I was a wreck after learning of the events that had transpired. But I still had to go to work. So I got up to go to work and I drove to work. And en route to work, which was only, I'd say, no more than 10 minutes, probably between 5 and 10 minutes. It's a 5 and 10 minute drive that I took from home to get to work. 5 minutes, very short distance. And on this morning, I would typically leave around 7:30 a.m. I was en route to work. There were no cars on the road, and there's a roundabout. There's a roundabout. It's not a four-way intersection, but it's a roundabout before heading to work, before entering the parking lot. There were only 2 cars on the road. Only 2 cars. My car, and there was a truck. All right. And the truck was barreling down the road, and the truck driver decided that they weren't going to slow down and that I was going to yield to the truck. This was a very aggressive move, because if you're entering a roundabout, you want to slow down. Typically I slow down. So the driver didn't do that. The driver just barreled right into the roundabout and kept on his way. Now, as the driver of the truck came in this direction, and I came around the roundabout, all right, and as the truck continued, all right, and I was behind the truck, I could see the license plate of the truck and the license plate of that truck. Remember, I was in that moment when that truck cut me off, and at that roundabout, I was angry. Now, prior to that, I was feeling sad. And of course, there was a strong sense of displacement, because I was thousands of miles away from my home. So I felt displaced, sad, and now I felt angry because this guy cut me off. In that moment, all of those emotions were working on me, and I saw the license plate. That car's license plate read 1090. All right. So there it was again. Now, in that moment, I saw those numbers, and although those emotions were working on me, and those emotions told me, you should be angry. You should curse that guy out, drive up next to him and curse him out, or that's a road rage, sort of expression of my feelings. Or my emotions, I was sad. My emotions told me, man, you got to cry. You got to let out these emotions, cry. And the other emotion, I felt, displaced. I felt lost. I'm not even in my own country. I'm thousands of miles away from my family. Here I am in the desert. Okay. But when I saw those numbers told me, relax. Just relax. This is God's plan. You're in God's hands. And then all of those emotions just wiped away. And I said, whoa, these numbers hold some sort of significance. Why else did I see them in that moment? When there were only 2 cars on the road, my goodness, man. Mine and that other car, I said, whoa, this is big. So the next time I saw these numbers, the date was July 24th. July 24th, and I was leaving Oman. I had worked in Oman for 6 to 7 months. Let's see, I arrived in January, and I was leaving in July. So it was the 1st month, it was the 7th month. So 7 months I was there. I arrived at the tail end of the 7th month, and so about 6 months to be precise. It was about 6 months that I was there. 6 months and a week, maybe. I had lived in Oman for 6 months, excuse me, and July 24th, I was leaving. Now, I was leaving, and I went back to that headquarters. I went back to the office where I was going to sign my exit documents. I was going to receive my flight to depart the country. I was going to receive my final paycheck and just, close the books on that chapter of my life, so to speak. Well, July 24th, yes. I arrived in the capital of Muscat. Okay, Muscat. If I failed to mention, I was in the city of Nizwa on April 1st when I saw 1090 there. All right, but I'm in the capital of Muscat, capital of Oman, Muscat. Right. I was in the capital of Oman, which is called Muscat. Okay. Now, I went to the capital probably on July 21st. I haven't been able to confirm this, but I think it was the 21st. The reason being is they had already issued a ticket for me to depart from Oman, departure on the 22nd. And they promised to put me up in a hotel, until my flight. So I imagine I had cleared out my apartment in Nizwa, and I was making my way to Muscat to stay the night from the 21st to the 22nd. I think this is how, I think these are the correct, exact, precise dates. I think they are. Well, they had a flight for me, a ticket for me prepared for July 22nd. But my money had not been deposited. I did not have my money. The money had not been deposited into my bank account. And I told my hiring manager, I'm not leaving the country until I receive all of my money. They said, that's reasonable. We've sent the wire. It hasn't been processed. The money hasn't posted to your account yet. When it does, then we will reschedule. We will get a new flight for you. In the meantime, I no longer had my home in Nizwa. I was traveling with my bags. I was in Muscat, the capital, and I needed a place to stay. So I think from the 21st through the 24th, I stayed at the hotel at the company's expense. Not bad, eh? On the 22nd, I spoke with the hiring manager, and he told me, check your bank account and let us know if you received the money. On the 22nd, we had a little bit of an argument. I said, listen, excuse me. Anytime I receive money, I receive an SMS message or I receive an email notifying me that money has been deposited into my account. And I said, I did not receive an SMS message. I did not receive an email. Therefore, I do not expect to see any money in my account. They said, Larry, go to the ATM and check. All right. Yes, sometimes these things don't work out the way that we expect them to work out, but you should go to the ATM to check it out. Now, I was upset. I was angry. I was annoyed by being told to go to the ATM after I explained that no, I should receive an SMS. I should receive an email. And they said, well, things aren't going to always, play out the way that we expect them to. So I said, okay, fine. And I had to leave my hotel and I had to walk 3 or 4 blocks to find the ATM for my particular bank. All right. Well, the first day that I went, on the 22nd, my money was not there. And they said, okay, maybe your money will be deposited tomorrow. I said, okay, fine. The 23rd rolled around and I said, I haven't received an SMS. I haven't received an email. They said, Larry, go to the ATM. And I reluctantly agreed. Okay. I reluctantly acquiesced. Yes. Okay, fine. And I walked all the way to the ATM. Again, there was no money in my account. All right. On the 24th, July 24th, 2019, same situation. I contacted my company, my hiring manager. I said, I'm going to the ATM to go and check the funds. He said, okay, go ahead. Let me know, if their money is there. I said, all right, fine. Again, I walked reluctantly to the ATM to check my balance. On the way to the ATM, I should actually have written, there are actually 6 instances. All right. But this one here, we're going to just change that really quickly. Oh, I wrote the same 2 numbers here. Let me erase that there. Where's my eraser? Here it is. All right, so July 24th, I'm en route from my hotel to the ATM. And as I'm walking, I notice a car. It's a taxi. All right. It's parked on the sidewalk, right dead smack in the middle of my route, the same route that I took from the hotel to the ATM. There it was parked. I looked at the license plate. It read 1090. I snapped at least 3 photos because I said to myself, here I go again. Here are my numbers again. Each time I had these experiences with these numbers, I told myself, relax, calm down. This is God's plan. The universe is speaking to you. These are your angel numbers. Whatever I said to myself, I just said, anytime I see those numbers, I'm like, cool out. All right. Or just, think about that moment. Be mindful in that moment is really what these numbers tell me. Be mindful in that moment. So I'm like, all right, cool. Now, when I saw those numbers, I said to myself, those are my numbers. That's a sign that my money is in that account. And sure enough, when I walked to the ATM, I had money in my account. I had all of my money. I called my hiring manager and I said, yes, I have all of my money. I'm ready for you to make a reservation and so that I can depart. And that's exactly how it happened. That wasn't the last time I saw 1090. That's not the last time that I saw 109. That wasn't the last time, especially in Muscat, because before finally leaving Muscat, I was at the office. I was at the hiring manager's office, at the headquarters, okay, of the company where I worked. And I went to look for this car with this license plate, 10914, because I had remembered it from my arrival, January 27th, 2019. And I thought, I didn't take a picture that day. If that car is here, I'll take a picture of it this time. And what I did was, I did just that. I took a picture of the car before leaving Oman. So I snapped a photo and I looked at that license plate, and sure enough, it was there. That car was parked there, I presume, because someone at the headquarters, drives that car. It's their car, or it could have been a company car on top of that. I don't know. But I was leaving. So, how was I feeling? Maybe a little bit of somber, like, I wish I could stay longer and have a job here, but I got fired, so I've got to, kick rocks. I've got to get out of here. So, my emotions were playing on me, but I saw those numbers, okay? Why are these numbers so important to me? Why did I write a book about these numbers? Well, the book explains a lot about it, but something interesting is that 1, 0, and 9, okay? When I look at these numbers, 1 and 0, I see an allusion to or a reference to my birthday, which is in October. And then the number 9 means the ninth day. So October 9th, that's the day that I was born. All right. So that's really why these numbers resonate with me. Okay. Now, what's interesting here, this number 10914, all right, that 914, I hadn't even paid attention to it when I took that picture or when I saw that, because that those numbers did not resonate with me. Okay. But now I look at those numbers, I look at the numbers 9, 1, and 4, and I see this as representing the month of September. And this representing the 14th. The 14th. Now, unbeknownst to me at the time, September 14th would become the day on which I would get married. On the day that that my wife and I got married. And I had no idea. So 109 is my birthday, 914 is the day of my marriage. And I just happened to notice that license plate, snap that photo only later. But those numbers held some significance for me. Now, I want to be very clear. I mentioned that there were numbers in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, 109, and they were written on the door. I want to be very clear. I did not write those numbers. I did not write those numbers. Number two, I want to be very clear. When I saw this license plate, 10914, I did not recognize September 14th as a date. And when I planned our wedding, I did not choose this date, September 14th, as our wedding date. I did not choose it. I had no knowledge or recollection even that these numbers were contained in that license plate. I was in Los Angeles with my wife, and I was talking to her about these experiences. I was flipping through photos when we came across the photo of the car with the license plate 10914, and she brought it to my attention that 914, that's our wedding date. And then I said, whoa. How did we choose that date? My wife was working pre-COVID. I had just returned to America, to Los Angeles, and I think I was driving for Uber. I had a lot of free time. Our schedules did not match up, and she was unavailable for a weekday wedding unless she took off from work, which I didn't want to ask her to do, all right? Well, eventually I told her, when I came back to America, I said that we were going to get married, and it's taken, I arrived in July, and we didn't get married until, September. So July, August, the whole month of August, I was waiting for an opportunity for our schedules to match so that we could get married. And I thought about, just driving to Beverly Hills and getting it done. Beverly Hills to the courthouse, right? Because my mother and father were married in courthouse in Los Angeles. I figured a courthouse marriage was the most efficient, means of getting things done. So anyway, it just didn't work out. And eventually the plan was, we just have to make this happen. And we're going to do it on a Saturday after your work. The following day, we're going to get up and we're going to drive to Vegas, because Vegas, you can get married 24/7, right? 24/7, 365. And that's what we did. We drove there. So there was the idea, but there was no actual plan. And September 14th didn't really matter. It was just that day. It was just the day on which we did it. We did the doggone thing. And sure enough, there it was. All right, so those are my stories. Thanks for listening. 109. My book is right here. Pick up your copy today at either Esselwan Books in Leimert Park or Mercato in Little Ethiopia. This is the green version here. The green version is available at Mercato in Little Ethiopia. And the red version, this is one of the red versions here. The red version, the Crimson, 109 Crimson, is available at Esselwan Books at Leimert Park.